An army of 100,000 soldiers could look unstoppable. Yet a force that size could produce more than 10 tons of solid waste and over 30,000 gallons of urine every day. There were no sewers, flushing toilets, or trucks to carry it away. Placed badly, the waste collected beside tents and washed toward the streams that filled soldiers' canteens. The enemy might still be miles away. The camp could already be turning against its own army. So where did 100,000 soldiers actually go to the toilet?
The answer began with a trench. By the 19th century, English-language military reports often called these latrines sinks. Names and regulations varied between armies. The principle did not. They were supposed to stand away from tents, kitchens, and drinking water, preferably downhill and downwind. A rail gave the men somewhere to sit. Fresh earth covered the waste each day. Once the trench filled, it was buried and another was dug. Even marching created a timetable. An 1861 military health guide recommended an early halt because many men needed to answer what it called the calls of nature. This was not comfort. It was camp engineering.
A well-placed latrine was useless if soldiers refused to use it. Inspectors found men relieving themselves behind tents, along paths, or wherever darkness offered privacy. Some trenches were never covered. Others stood so close that the smell reached the sleeping areas. One report warned that lax discipline had left the neighborhood filthy and pestilential. Officers therefore organized cleaning parties and enforced the rules. The system depended less on technology than obedience.
The greatest danger was not the smell. It was where the waste traveled next. Rain flowed downhill, carrying filth into shallow wells and streams. Soldiers collected that water, cooked with it, and filled their canteens. In one Union camp, an inspector found a latrine above the stream used for drinking. He called it the fountain head of the stream. The soldiers did not yet understand bacteria, but they understood patterns. Dirty camps produced sick men. Dysentery emptied the ranks, while typhoid spread through contaminated food and water. A badly placed trench could fill a hospital without firing a shot. During the American Civil War, disease killed more than 400,000 soldiers, roughly twice the number killed by combat. Poor sanitation was only one cause, but dysentery accounted for about 1/4 of illnesses reported by Union surgeons. Clausewitz had already warned, it is not unusual that a victorious army suffers greater losses from sickness than from battle. Sanitation was not housekeeping. It preserved fighting strength. A commander could defeat the enemy and still lose his army to the ground beneath its tents. So where did 100,000 soldiers go to the toilet? Into long trenches, temporary pits, and whatever improvised facilities the army could maintain. The real system rested on three things: distance, dirt, and discipline. Latrines had to be placed correctly. Waste had to be covered. Water had to be protected. When the ground became saturated, the trench, or sometimes the entire camp, had to move. When these rules worked, an enormous army could remain healthy enough to march. When they failed, the camp became a weapon pointed inward. An army's defenses did not end at its perimeter. Sometimes the trench that mattered most faced no enemy at all.